Yes, we are back. February 12th, second week into the second month of this crazy, weird, yet profitable year we are in so far. It's good to be back, and I can't wait for Sunday at 5 p.m. That's one of my favorite days of the week because the markets are open and the heart is beating and the blood is flowing. The setups are setting up. And all that means is Forex has been very profitable, very volatile this past year. And it's looking like it's continuing it on for 2023. And we're going to talk about it. I mean, last week was just all premium, pretty much easy, simple, engulfing setups. I don't know if any of them hardly didn't work last week. So we'll probably go over that, look at some of the engulfing setups that we took or that we saw last week, and see what we got going on this week. What kind of targets, what direction we think the market is heading in, and yeah, we'll keep you updated. Another thing, what I probably won't try to do is, well, we do it at the end of the live, but we need to notate. Probably notate on Telegram what is the main direction that we feel like the market is heading in. That way we can review the following Sunday how well our analysis worked out. Because regardless of what we feel the market is going to do on Sunday, our bias can and will change throughout the week. So it'll be nice to have a good idea on what we were talking about the previous week so we can kind of continue with that conversation and see where we are in the current week and help us with a further, more accurate prediction of what we're going next week. Just like they say, history repeats itself. And currently, I'm actually looking at the 1 hour charts. Let me see what the 4 hour looking like because I may get into a sale right here. We got a potential wick we could feel here. Got like some kind of double bottom scenario. This never filled 100%. This little gap. And close it on price, but it didn't close the gap, if you will. It's a little gap right here. It's very small, but still 68.94. Oh, folks, so that's about 10 pips. Only thing I don't like about this setup is that I don't have no engulfing to go off of. Other than that, it is a potential wick fill. Volatility, I don't know. Sunday we've been having some nice volatility, but it's not really there in my favor, especially looking for this. Looking at these candles. Starting off my Sunday, it's not real big, bold candles. We got this, but we also got a rejection. Yeah. Overall, it's telling me that the buyers were still in control if they push the market this higher to create this pin bar situation. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. I kind of want to get into sales, but I'm not sure. Tell you what, we'll get into sales at this 15-minute close below this one. If we get another engulfing at 8:15, we'll get another sale. So what I'll do is I'll mark my alarm on my phone at 8:15. That way I get some kind of alert 6 minutes from now. Really, my laptop says 8:07. My phone says 8:10. So know who's right, but we'll be right around here. Let's see what we at on the 1 minute. That'll tell us what time we at. So yeah, 8:10. I'm not 8:07. 8:10 is right. So yeah, 5 minutes away. Let's see. Let's see how that 15-minute closes. So if we look back in the past, I can draw a vertical line on where the week started. So we can look from, let's see, I think the week started around the 5th. That was Sunday right here. Bang. 16, 17, bam. And we can confirm this. Looking at my calendar. 5th, yes. All right. So with the week ending, no, starting here, last week we were live during this time. We're live during, let's see, right around here. So the market really didn't do anything Sunday on the last live. Looking at the 1 hour. So the last live was on the 5th. And we started pretty much right here. So yeah, overall, after looking at this, I'm pretty sure we discussed that buys were really a good probability to get into, especially looking with all this price action we got on the 1 hour. Looking back in the past. The week before that was kind of more of a sell-off. So this could mean we could easily get at least some type of retest up to these levels before we continue a sell-off. But nonetheless, I know last week we were probably looking for the market to buy up into these gaps up here on the 1 hour. So, and we know that those areas still didn't get filled per se. I mean, it kind of did halfway. We got halfway through on this first big ass gap that dropped on Friday morning at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock Central. So we still got that price to fill in, and then we have a Thursday morning gap that we didn't 100% fill in. So unless if we break structure, which we have a low here created from last week, and I guess you can say this is it's not really a higher from that, but it damn sure is a change of character right here that we bust through, because nonetheless, with this being a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, this is a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And right here is the most important lowest point that we broke through right here. We broke through that low on Friday morning. And he consolidated. Now that we're back at the low that broke the most significant low of structure from last week, we're now heading into that price area, breaking that low. And we did that 2 hours ago. So for us to confirm that we are continuing bearish, I mean, we do have some sort of flip on this type of structure right here. And we did it at 8:15. We're going to look at that 15-minute to see if we can get into sales. But with this type of structure that's being set up to make it seem as if we are in bearish structure, I wouldn't confirm that really at least until we close below this low that was created the hour, because they try to attack the next available structure on this bullish little pattern we was going through last week, but it didn't break it, didn't close below, but it did wick all the way down here and reject from that area. So like I said, this could be like a fake out scenario, even though this is more of a flip on structure, because we do have bullish structure going up, and then as soon as you break a previous swing low on that structure, then you have a change of character, what they say, meaning you changing from bearish to bullish. And that scenario was met right here, and nonetheless again broken right here at 5 o'clock. 8, 7, 6 o'clock. So yeah, 6 o'clock. So let's look at the 15-minute right quick. See if we're gonna get into the sell. See how it closed, and we did not get no engulfing. I think that was, yeah, I wanted this to engulf this, and it did not. So with that being said, we did get engulfing on here, so that could be a rejection we could be getting ourselves into. So I would like to be getting to buys, especially if we can get a 1 hour engulfing. Is it possible? I mean, that's 09, 08. It's kind of like 1 pip. I would want some a little bit better, but if this hour closes engulfing and we start to rise above these highs, I would get into buys, at least targeting yesterday's high, which is at roughly 69.60. So at least to when I get to 69 flat, which is down here, I mean, that's a 60 pip play. So we got a good about 40 pips we could capture with that. So grabbing 10 to 20 out of that is ideal. So that's what we're looking forward to. So let's look at some of the setups we did get into last week while we were expecting the market to create a bullish run to fill all these old gaps we had during the sale of the previous week from last week. Then we got Scully up in here. What's popping, my boy?
What's happening, man?
Well, you already know.
Back at it, another week. Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl Sunday, man. Calling all plays this week.
Ain't nothing changed. Yeah, it's only right.
No, it's been great, man. We're only halfway through the second one in, and the volatility has been amazing for the Australian dollar. So like I said, starting last week, when we did the live last week, we didn't get too much activity in the markets, even though we did get a nice bullish run on Sunday. But I think overall, when we were on live last week, we were potentially calling out possibly a bullish run to fill in that, but we did realize that was a big sell-off. So we do know, based on the higher time frames too, we look at the 4-hour, the bears were definitely in control that last week with as much selling off as it was doing, even though we would like, we would expect a retrace up to fill that, but it just doesn't have to happen when we want it to happen. I'm pretty sure that's what we expected, but this previous week, it's kind of more of a consolidation. Yeah, the bulls were more in favor, but still consolidated for the most part. So just to review, we can look at buys ultimately, because I'm pretty sure that's what we're leaning towards. But we still knew that the bears were still in full control with the selling that it did on Thursday and Friday. So we look Our first real setup was at 1 o'clock in the morning. That setup we probably didn't take. Everybody was asleep. And I think this is on NYC time frame. 9. Yeah, so that was really noon, midnight our time. But 1 o'clock in the morning, probably didn't catch that. I think I did. I think I was up late, but nonetheless, that wasn't to be had. Waiting patiently, though, you got another setup right around here at 7 a.m. Central Time. So that was a nice little 20 pip, at least a nice little 10 pip, especially if you locked in profit. It turned around against you, hit stop losses or whatever the case was. But that was a nice little trade, probably the first trade of the week. Then again, you get a nice little color change, but still not an engulfing. So if you're looking for that engulfing, that wouldn't have got you into the market. And we were waiting patiently here around 4-ish, I think 4 p.m. It's still early, but I think that was an engulfing. I think we did look at that. And if you felt like volatility was on your side and we was going to fill these wicks and potentially fill in this little small little spike we had down to the downside, or you could have gotten into this engulfing, but like I said, it wasn't the best setup. So
Yeah,
nonetheless,
that's one of those situations like are you willing to risk as far as like putting your stop loss at that recent low
down here,
down there, correct? And risking it to reach
80,
that area,
it's 30 pip stop loss.
30 pips, to see if it
30
can reach,
plus, right?
which it did, that area to the left. Not the first one, but the second TP, that area.
Right.
The second one to the top, to the left.
Oh, here.
Yes, over there. And you can see you got hit, but, would you be willing to risk? What's that, like a 1-1-1? Oh, no, not
It's
really.
probably a
Not
1 to
really.
1.5 or 1 to
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, so you have to be
But
willing
this
to,
is like
are you okay with that risk? If so, that's your trade, But yeah, for sure.
facts. And that's what I look for, at least 1 to 2, 1 to 3s all day.
Yep. So that's not a
You
bad
could
one.
be profitable at 1 to 1.5. That's the bare minimum. You can still be profitable with those numbers.
Facts.
So if you didn't catch this off of, maybe if you was trading color change and you got in 8 pips above, that probably would have worked out better. But I know we kind of focus on engulfing just to get that extra confirmation. And like I said, if you would have got into this one, cool. It wasn't the greatest setup, but still in all, it still was coming from a low point. So that's not too bad. Comparing from this high to this low and looking at this area, especially if you look at Fibonacci, I mean, this is like the mid area probably. So you still underneath demand. Demand is down here, supply is up here. Support, resistance. So you want to buy support, sell resistance. And that's basically a good, way to look at if you still, can get into this trade, if it's still enough profit for you. So nonetheless, if we keep moving, being that we are somewhat, like I said, we beginners, more of a novice heading into expert status of trading. You see these moves and you see candles starting to get larger and larger and just crushing these wicks, and you know for sure it's heading to higher and higher, probably liquidity to grab, or just more wicks in the past that it can fill. Sometimes, and I'm not speaking to people we showing the markets to and how we should trade, but this is just an impulse entry. Sometimes when you see volatility increasing, it's okay to enter, especially when you didn't see no lows getting attacked. Like this low could have easily got attacked. This wick, it could have easily got attacked right here in these 2 candles and rejected, But when you see smooth flows like that, sometimes you could just get in off the break of the recent high of the recent hourly, if the setup behooves you. This is a very advanced move, but this is just like when it's coming from, a strong level of support. And this, I know this is strong because I've seeing it on TradingView, based off of 4-hour price gaps that this area was trying to fill as it was heading down. So I know why this bounced off of this area. It didn't just bounce off this area for no reason. There's a reason why it bounced. But nonetheless, when you see high, that's when volatility is increasing as the candles get larger and we heading to another basically another zone, another area, another structured area of price action, especially in this bearish move right here. All the higher highs and lower highs, they all get attacked when structure is being built. So with that being said, if you didn't catch none of these moves going bullish, you would probably call it a night, wait for the morning. And in the morning, we got a nice bullish engulfing right here at 9 a.m. Central Time. So that would have been a sweet entry, and that one probably depending on you looking at this in the past and looking at this high and knowing that it didn't close above, that probably would have been one of your first targets. And if you would have just been, take profit there, cool. You probably wrecked in about 10, 15 pips, maybe 20. But ultimately, the market did what it did. I think calling these highs probably would have been the safest bet for you as far as trading this. I mean, these highs would have been safe too, but it already attempted to close above here. So it's like, why not, after going from this engulfing, not breaking this little structure right here, nor this low? It never came down below that. We did get a rejection right here that engulfing. I think that was wrong. Something happened around 1 o'clock on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, I think that was wrong. Talking about interest rates, and then they rejected, entice people into sales, especially after they saw all this selling off. It saw the price run up, didn't close above this, started to sell off some more, and then people was like, oh yeah, we in bias. And then you see this rejection, everybody and their grandma changed their bias. Even though nothing changed, no structure was broken. This did get broke. This didn't get broken. This didn't get broken yet. But this alone, that quick rejection after that big run up, after Jerome was talking, and that quick rejection, everybody thought it was sales. Everybody. And the reason why is because they thought it was buys. They got into buys, probably was in profit. But as they saw the candle rejected, they didn't want to be left holding the bag. That's why people change their bias when, especially in news, high news events like Jerome Powell and shit. That's why people change their bias. Even though this was the right bias, you was good. Yeah, it reversed. It engulfed, but it didn't continue on this pattern. Like, I could see if it engulfed, it then started to test the low of that engulfing candle. Then okay, you probably want to get out of that trade and just wait for another setup. But that never happened. It was scary. Don't get me wrong. It probably was scary, but that's what create the great traders from, the not so great, is holding your bias, especially when nothing of structure changed. All this shit is exciting. Yes, volatility. Yes, moving. Yes, is making you sweat. But if you just look at, the big picture, nothing changed. No structure got mitigated. Nothing got broken. We still looking like we, continuing on our bullish reversal to eat up this, all the sales that it did for the previous week. So, especially when you got people calling that out from the beginning of the week, like, oh yeah, I think we got buys. I think we're going to be buying up to clear all this out. When you see this, it's like, oh yeah, confirm, buys locked in. And then when you see that, yeah, if you're not really 100% sure with yourself, yeah, everybody will change their bias and start selling off. And as you can see, it kind of messed with them because it was just tinkering back up. Even though we had a lot of selling going on off these wicks right here, it was like, oh yeah, it's about to turn around and continue selling. Like all the people that held onto those sales, it was just tinker, just playing with them. And they probably had their stops up here and was just waiting. And ultimately it got them. You know, niggas probably lost accounts in the most. But nonetheless, the buys worked out. If you attack the high that didn't get closed above on this initial swing up, and yeah, you could, like I said, you could have took profit here or just held for this high, because obviously this is a strong high, being that it was created from, you know, an interest rate speech or a inflation speech. So with that being said, that could have been a new target. You know, if you didn't get out right here, or if you locked in profit. If you did lock in profit, you probably got stopped out on here, and that's what happened to me, because I was in buys on this move from this engulfing, and I locked in I think 10 pips, and I got stopped out. I could have closed up here, took my profit. Yeah, one thing I should have done, what I will do, is once I know price is above or it does take out structure and a previous, you know, lower high, higher low, or whatever the case, high low, I will reduce the trade size. I mean, that's the smartest thing in the world. At least take off half, 75%, something, to where I can capture more of the profit as it's at the highest point of what price is going to reach for that, you know, for that session.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's another good way. But what you initially did was the you know, like considered the golden rule, I guess, if you will. Like you turned a winning trade into a
I kept a winning trade.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
you was risk free on it. The trade turned risk free.
Yes.
So by you doing that,
oh my God, bro,
that's the best feeling. That's the best feeling ever.
Trade, that's the best feeling, bro. That's like walking in the bank.
Yeah.
Walking past the teller, walking into the vault, putting in the key pin, taking out the money, and walking out the bank, and nobody say nothing to you. That's how sure you're gonna get paid when you locked in profit. That's like that. That's the best feeling in the world. Like, you know for sure the money good.
Yeah, so that's key. That's like a major key with this. You know, that's why we say always 10. You get 10 pips, man. Lock that in. Don't care what else happens.
Yeah. Lock that in, man. Lock that in, especially around news, man. If you got 10 and you in a good position,
true. That is
true.
Yeah.
As you see the market increasing, you know, lock in more, lock in 20, lock in 30, lock in 40, like trail that shit.
Yep.
Let it, you know, don't keep it at 10. If you way the fuck up here and you bought down here, like, look at structure. Okay, like if I would have bought down here and it didn't get me out, or if I didn't put my stop loss in and I step in, if I saw the market way up here and I saw structure, that would be my first off the rip. Before I even analyze anything, that's the first level I'm putting my stop loss to lock in. Like, I don't care what kind of pips that is, but based off of structure, I'm locking in my money right there. Because if market drops down below, then I don't want it to eat up all my profit. You know, that's a good way to put it. Another way, depending on where it's happening, you know, based on previous structure and last week or previous days, you know, based on the hourly time frame, you can get out of the trade based on a reversal pattern, a reversal setup. So say, for instance, if you in buy, out of that buy based on a bearish engulfing. Now, granted, the following bearish engulfing was this, but the fact that it was news and all manipulation, I don't count that as one. But I do want to look at the next structure, which is up here, or at least near these highs. And we didn't get that until about right here, also right here, but for sure up here. And that would have been a good area to get out of this buy, you know, looking at the reversal of structure to see where engulfing was trying to tell me that the buys were giving up, they're running out of steam, and then the sellers were stepping in the market to, you know, return price back down to a more suitable level so they can fill their orders. Simple as that. So if you didn't get into this move, you would have had to wait and continue to wait and continue to wait. Granted, if you got into this sale, I don't even want to talk about what you lost because you lost a lot. That wasn't the sale to get into. Obviously, if you did get into this, one way to know that you are in an incorrect trend in the market. Yes, is engulfing. Yes, it's coming after a break of structure. This price broke this structure over here, and then we engulfed it. So yes, it would seem as if we could just kind of shoot down and just melt. But if you don't get the next, and I mean the very next candle after this engulfing, if it doesn't attack these lows and try to show you, especially on a smaller time frame, 15, 5 minute, whatever, that is trying to attack these lows, yeah, you might want to get out. You might want to get out. This might not be a continuation of the bears. They might have got the engulfing, but they probably didn't get the continuation. And the only reason they would get the engulfing is because of news. It's kind of volatile, high volatile situation that's making great traders, off this volatility. All these people are getting into this market. So you don't want to get into that pool. You want to be where all the smart money is, what they call. So nonetheless, we move forward, and it was really no good setups because I mean we did get engulfings right here, but the fact that we still had this high and the fact that we still ran up to this high, I felt like we were gonna take this out. So I felt like it was still good enough to wait on the sale. And waiting was great because at about 4 a.m., if you were up, you got a great setup from these highs, nice engulfing, and you enter here. You still would have got into this market because 7 a.m. retraced, and really this is it's really 6 a.m. Central Time, but it retraced real high. So I would say like 6:45, maybe the uh 7 o'clock candle on the 15 minute probably showed an engulfing. The fact that this wicked up like this and then turn around and close bearish, somewhere on the 15 minute you might have had an engulfing. And the fact that this is kind of like a price gap, it's very many, but we filled that in, tapped into it. That would have gave you a little more reasoning to get into the sale, especially being that price is at an area that you would have got in. It would have been a greater entry for you based off the engulfing, because no matter what an engulfing closes, we get in and we set our stop losses accordingly. Sometimes you get situations like up here where you get engulfing and you stop way down here, or you can get it as tight as possible. And the fact that this wicked up to get us back into this missed 4 a.m. sale because it was too early in the morning, nigga was asleep, that would have been a good setup for sales. Might have been a real good setup for sales. And probably would have locked in for sure 10 pips. But I could easily see you getting out at an engulfing, the bullish engulfing on the reversal, or one structure passes above here, because we got like a little structure situation. Not the cleanest one, but it kind of goes in with this. I will put a stop right here at the lowest, and eventually we did get stopped out in profit, but nonetheless, caught that move. Nice. That following evening, you got an engulfing right here and a color change. That would have been a sweet buy. Very close to stop losses. Didn't get stopped out. Ran it up. Targets are up here. Easily you would have got stopped out. Hit your he would have hit your take profit easily. Yeah, you probably would have saw this and were like, damn, it's more money on the table. But you are approaching strong resistance, and as long as after this candle broke through, if we don't get a continuation like immediately, then yeah, that was just another fake out, and then we should probably move back into consolidation, which we did. So that was a move that kind of took you throughout the rest of the morning. We didn't get no engulfings on, what's that, the 9th? I think that's Wednesday. I believe so. No, that's Thursday. So we didn't get no engulfings on Thursday. But what was Thursday morning, bro? Wasn't that that was now jobless
initial
claim, right?
and yeah, initial jobless claim.
So that probably was the reason why we got this big push and rejection of because ultimately without that news event, I would just erase this and kind of look at this price action, and we probably would have just initially just dropped from that area instead of this high volatile push up. So no trade for that morning. I mean, we did get a color change. So if you still want to get in on color changes, that setup is golden. You know, 8 pips below the signal candle, stops above the most recent swing, or the candle stops above that high, however you want to play it, and just let it run. We didn't get an opportunity to get into this rejection cell until around 7 p.m. And the reason why this is a sweet setup because this was one of the most recent, well, the most dominant low on this run up, this last run up. And yeah, this is and I mean it's dominant because it took out this low, allowed this high to be taken out, which is continuing the structure of bullish, like lower high. Not really a higher high, but lower high, high high, lower high, high high, lower high, high high. So this would be the determining factor of when we get a change of character and the bulls turn into the bears. So with that being said, I was waiting for price to take out these lows, and we got a setup above that target with wicks to fill. So we got wicks to fill, and we got that low that is trying to attack. So that's 2 confirmations, or 3 including engulfing, that this move to the downside is pretty much good to go. It's a real good confirmed move. And as you can see, that worked out in our favor. So I think it was like 7 p.m. We got into that. Take profit down here. It's about a good 10 pips. If you didn't take that, you damn sure locked it in, and you would have got stopped out right here with your 10 pips. So nonetheless, we get a reversal. Then again, early in the morning, 3 in the morning, 3 a.m. during London open, we get an engulfing. You were still asleep like most people, you didn't get into this. But then you get a 7 in the morning engulfing. And we did get continuation to the upside on this, so I can see how somebody would have got into buys on this. Now, the fact that we weren't closing above these highs would have concerned me. Now, this next candle, I would have been like, okay, we didn't we didn't close above this to continue this bullish move that I got into at this engulfing. But we did not come into like a midpoint of this candle, so we still could be in a bullish scenario. We could still tap down at least to right here and then run it up. And I kind of like this structure. It kind of goes with this, little swing area. So I kind of like this zone for a stop loss based on buys. If we were getting buys, I would not want the market to be closing below this and still being buys from up here. And ultimately, if I saw this scenario, I probably would have put my stop loss below the low of this and just let it hit me. Because if it's going to tinker and tamper with these lows, 9 times out of 10, based off with all this, reversal that we were saying, based off the, the strong news we got on Thursday, and the fact that we didn't capitalize on the bullishness for the continuation for the week. because this is like midweek Wednesday. You would think that, if we're going to go bullish Wednesday, for sure it's going to prove its point and continue that. And, we may get some rejection or retracement like on Friday, but that wasn't the case. It was a lot of consolidation, so we didn't get that. And followed by that news release, we got a sell-off. And that's what gave more confirmation for that sell-off. Subsequently, this sell-off too. But like I said, we didn't get into that because that was in the morning. So when you woke up, you probably would have got into these buys. This price did go above the high, so that's a good thing. Like I said, you want to see a price continuation in that trend, but we did not close above. We didn't close above these highs. Had a bearish kind of candle, and like I said, I would have put a stop below this because I wouldn't want price to go below, and ultimately it stopped us out on that buy. And we did get any more setups for the rest of Friday, and that was 7 a.m. So yeah, I said it was probably, like I would say, good 2, maybe 3 setups last week. I think the week prior was better. I think that's what I was speaking on at the beginning of the live, but it was about a good 2 or 3 setups. That was real good. Probably would have captured upwards of 50 to 75 pips for the week. Getting 50 for the week is good. 10 a day. You can make a lot with 10 a day, trust me. You don't need a shitload of money to do so. And yeah, right now I've been seeing this little pattern set up for the past 4 or 5 years where we're definitely in a bearish trend. And once the higher time frames kind of line up with wicks to fill, it confirms everything that's supposed to and look like it's going to happen on the time frame we actually enter in, like the hour and 15 minute. I mean, based off of this, I wouldn't say we continue in bearish until we close below this wicks low. I mean, we did get a close below the bodies, but it wasn't a continuation. It kind of rejected that, and we've been consolidating everything. So I would like to see a close, not price touching this area, but a close below this.
Yeah, strong, solid close
for us to really confirm that we back bearish, entering in the bearish move. But we do have a 4-hour wick to fill. Also, we have a 1-hour wick to fill. I know my charts probably move a little slow, bro.
Yeah, they are. Can you hear me?
I don't know if you're experiencing that or not.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
What'd you say?
Can you hear me?
Nah, you chopping up.
Oh, man. What about now? Can you hear me?
So you back now? Yeah, you good now.
Okay. Yeah, no, the screen was a little iffy.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Whoa.
I can hear you, but it's delayed. Sounds like you can't hear me.
Yeah, we don't much trust my Oanda trust to come back, but
Okay, can you hear me though?
it be kind of going in and out, but I hear you. You just asked if I heard you. Like I can hear you moving around and stuff. So yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, but I asked you that like a good 5, 10 seconds ago.
You said that. You said what?
I asked you that a good 5 to 10 seconds ago, so it's kind of delayed.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll have to fine tune this. Are we getting there?
And that's what's so sweet about this. It's, indicator. This indicator you see on TradingView right now is these arrows basically pointing out all the engulfing setups after a color change.
So that's still active.
It's active on my charts, but they blocked it to the whole world.
Okay. Now that's nice, man.
But I can recreate it though. Like all I gotta do is just get the copy of the code that I did create, that I did rewrite, and further rewrite it type shit. And then
Okay.
just give better explanation on what it does. And I guess I probably gotta give the people who I initially saw this engulfing thing props type shit. I gotta just do that, like do it the
Oh
proper
yeah.
way.
Give the credits.
Even though I feel like they copied off of Roberto, if you ask me.
Mm. Cause that's what. Yeah. No, that's facts. If this hour closes bullish, this would be a really good buy. I think a really good buy. Did you hear me on that?
What'd you say?
I said if this hour closes bullish, it's going to be a really good buy.
Yeah, I don't know why it's chopping up. I think you saying that this hour closes bullish and engulfs the previous one, get into bias.
Correct. It'll be a really good buy.
Yes. Yeah, he better be jumping and skipping like that.
I want to know if it's my connection or is it on your end or is it the host
I
that we're
be
using?
think well, I mean I do have like yeah, I be thinking it's my end because I have a lot of tabs open, a lot of windows open. I be thinking that's the issue, but that shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I mean, do you get else?
Right there, I didn't hear anything. You're going to have to say that again.
So
I
good,
mean, if you
guys.
want
We
to, if you want to
we're
hit me up on the
continue to grind
Telegram
this
and
out,
let's
and
finish this.
hopefully once I start going live from the office, we'll have. I ain't hear what you said, brother. Like I heard you say you want to hit me up.
Yeah, on the Telegram. Peace.
Yeah, yeah. I hit you on Telegram. We go wrap it up right here.
All right, guys.
And
I
like I
appreciate the
said,
patience.
next week I'm not gonna put too much on it, but I think next week we're gonna be live from the office. So hopefully next week we'll be live from our office. Desk
That's
in
a
there,
bet.
chair in there, and sofa.
Maybe it
Get the
may be a
TV installed
surprise.
probably that weekend, Yeah, man.
It may be a
Other than
surprise
that,
next week, so stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
we're gonna see y'all next week, man. Next Sunday, 8 to 9, FXBros.
Y'all be good. Peace.
Peace out, guys.